Okay, guys, this is a little bit of a rant for you, the business owner or coach out there who doesn't want to go into debt to grow your business. So if that's you, pay attention and watch this video. Hey guys, what's going on? Uriel Kim here, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. And I want to just get something off my chest because I see this kill so many businesses. It's ridiculous. It's the person who says, this is like, I definitely want to do this, but I'm not willing to put this on my credit card. Therefore, I'm going to wait until I have cash in the bank to move forward with this. Now, this has a lot of different applications, from running Facebook ads to investing in coaching, etc. You need to be very careful of the inputs you bring into your brain, right? If you listen to someone like Dave Ramsey, there's zero debt ever going to happen in your life. If you listen to someone like Grant Cardone, well, then debt's good, right? For your business and your own growth. If you listen to someone like me, I'm much more on the line of Grant Cardone because that's the way I've lived my life. And that's the way to be honest, I don't know many entrepreneurs who were able to have the money in the bank before doing what they needed to have the money in the bank. So if this is specifically for you, if you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to let the money grow and then I'm going to invest in whatever. I think the only place that applies is actually investing in investments like real estate, crypto, stock market. What you absolutely need the cash on hand. Like, you can't use credit to purchase stocks, right? But here's the thing, and this is why I don't understand. Like, I don't fucking understand people sometimes. And I apologize for the F-bomb, but this drives me crazy. Have you ever purchased a house? And if you have, did you pay all cash for it? The answer is probably not, unless you're a friggin' baller. So what did you do? You put down 20% and you mortgaged the rest of it, i.e., you did not have enough money to purchase the house. Right? Have you ever purchased a car? Did you pay cash for the car? If so, cool, baller status. If you didn't, what did you do? You leased it, you financed it, i.e. you put a little bit down and you went into debt for the rest of the payments. What about school? When you went to school to become the amazing health expert you are, did you just drop dollar bills into the university? Probably not. You took out a student loan, or maybe you got a scholarship, but let's assume that, like most people, you had a loan to pay for the schooling. Again, unless you had hundreds of thousands saved up somehow from your parents or wherever. So we buy a house, we buy a car, we go to school, and we use all of those initiatives. We pay for those things using debt. Yet, when it comes to building our own business, the one thing we have the most leverage with, we're like, no. I'm not using a credit card. Really? Just go make lattes at friggin' Starbucks. Please save everyone the hassle. Because here's the thing about entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs believe in themselves. Entrepreneurs take calculated risks. And as much as I would love for everyone to succeed in business, it's mindsets like this that kill businesses and it kills dreams. The universe rewards speed. If you think the next several months you're going to save up a bunch of cash and it's just going to sit in your bank and then you're going to put it into something, guess what? You're going to run into a situation again in the future where you do not have the means to invest in the very thing you need to invest in to make the means possible for you to keep growing. You will never lose in life and in business if you continue investing in yourself. Because if you don't have the money sitting in the bank right now, here's a little secret you need to know about. You don't have the skills required to make the money. So what are you going to do? Well, if I was in your case, and a lot of entrepreneurs are in your case, we're going to throw that on a credit card. We're going to build the skills necessary so that we have the capability to make the money to pay off the credit card and then some. So if you were to open up a brick and mortar practice or a restaurant or anything physical where you had to put money down, just like buying a house, are you paying full cash for that? No, you're leveraging the bank's money. So why not do the same with your business? And here's why. Because you don't believe in yourself. That's it. Okay, mic drop, end of story. You do not believe in yourself. People who have confidence in my dictionary is, even though I don't know how to do this, I will figure out a way. I believe in myself enough that no matter what life throws my way, I'll figure it out. That's confidence. Again, just in case you haven't heard my story, I'm not talking about this because I had some trust fund that I was able to just, do stuff with. When I started in 2005, I was an underpaid, overworked personal trainer making $17 an hour. And I started my business online at the end of 2005, and I made literally nothing for 3 years. Okay, so I'm talking poverty line income. First year I made $6,000, second year $18,000, and then the third year, 20 something. I got to the point at the end of 2009 where I was reflecting on, the previous year and looking ahead to 2010, and I was like, dude, you're friggin' delusional if you think things are going to get better if you don't do something differently. So what was I doing? I was playing within my means. I was doing everything by myself, and I was trying to figure out the whole thing on my own. Okay, that's like the 3 ingredients for failure. Trying to figure things out on your own, playing within your means, and I don't even know what the third thing was. Anyways, you get the point. So end of 2009, I made a commitment to myself. I said, 2010, I'm going to actually start doing things differently. I'm going to go to some live events, and I'm going to hire a coach. Okay, that was my commitment. I didn't have the money to go to any of these events. These events were $2,000 a pop. So you know what I did? I bought the ticket with my credit card. I purchased the airplane ticket with my credit card. I put the hotel on my credit card. And I did that 4 times in the space of the first quarter of 2010. So an interesting happened because of that commitment. Number one, I built friendships and relationships with so many other people in the health and fitness space that over the next decade went on to generate millions and millions and millions of dollars in business. Second, I met a guy who eventually became my coach. And by eventually, I mean right away, because I saw him on stage and I went out to him right afterwards and I said, hey man, do you have a mastermind or a coaching program that I can join? He's like, I do. I'm like, great. Can I join it? I didn't even ask how much money it was because I knew it wasn't going to be cheap. And I remember speaking a couple of days with his assistant and she's like, okay, well, it's $18K. And I was like, all right. And I felt the pit in my stomach because $18,000 was literally as much money as I made the whole year previous. And remember this, I had already paid for 4 live events, right? So between the airfare, hotel, tickets, we're talking about like $12,000 to $15,000 already sitting on my credit card. And then I was like, whatever. I gave her my credit card, and in the back of my mind, I still remember this little voice in the back of my mind. So my stomach is like, ugh. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. And that's exactly what I did. Because as soon as I made that investment, that next year, so my business was like this, all of a sudden it just took off. Because when you do not pay, you do not pay attention. And if you wait to pay, well, guess what? The ship will already have sailed. You will have missed the boat because you could wait up and get all your eggs in a basket and ready to go. But who knows how long that's going to take? Is that going to take 6 months, 12 months? Because in the meantime, you could have used leverage to get 10 times faster and 10 times further ahead than you ever would have otherwise. See, here's the beautiful thing with what we teach our clients. We do not teach send people 100 DMs a day on social media. We do not teach, play in Facebook groups for free all day long or post content no one ever sees, but keep doing it because eventually someone will. That's what most people do online. And that's why most people fail in their businesses online. What we teach is very different. And if you've watched my videos, you know this, right? We teach a perfect client pipeline. It's very simple. Every single one to a T of our clients does the same thing. Paid traffic, mostly in Facebook ads, to a webinar, application, phone call. So you might be thinking, okay, Yuri, well, if I'm not going to, why would I put money on my credit card if I don't have the money to put into my advertising or marketing? Because some people say, well, I don't have the budget for that. I'm like, you don't need a budget if you know what you're doing. And guess what? Sometimes you have to take a bit of a risk. You have to be willing to ask yourself, if I were to spend $2,000 in Facebook ads, would I be okay if I lost it? What's the worst case scenario if you lost $2,000? Is it really that bad? Because in the process, you'd probably have developed a list of 750 people. 750 people, you think you can turn one of those people into a client who pays you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000? If the answer is no, you have bigger issues, which is why you even need help more than you think. But in my world, I had a client, this has come up a few times, right? So someone's like, well, I'm in a bit of a pickle where I can't spend any more money on ads. What else should I do? And so I said, you've got two options. Option number one is you individually contact every single social media follower you have, and you individually email every single person on your email list, and you start to develop a communication rhythm, some type of relationship, get them into a conversation, get them on the phone, and see if there's an opportunity to work together. I said, that's what you're going to do. You're going to grind it out and you're going to put in the time. There's no other way. There's no other way. That's option number one. Option number two, and you may not like this option. Option number two is you go to the bank, you get a credit card for $10,000. Hopefully it's an interest-free credit card, and you run ads on that credit card even before you have the money to pay for the ads. And you might, again, if you're watching this, you might be thinking, okay, you're easy for you to say. Like, trust me, okay? Like, it's not easy for me to say because I've been in your shoes and I've been on the other side of it. And I can promise you're not going to get on the other side of it if you stay in your shoes with this mindset of I'm unwilling to go into debt for my business. What business on the planet has no debt? Let me just be very clear about something. Healthpreneur, we have zero debt. Our entire business is paid for with cash flow that comes from our sales. We have no outside investors. If Warren Buffett were to look at our company, he would be like, it ticks all the boxes for what we look for in an investable company. Very little overhead. There's no physical space. It's net free cash flow that generates the profit and the operations for the business, and there's zero debt. Okay. However, I have zero budget limit on my Facebook ads. Zero. I want to spend as much as humanly possible. I told our media buyers, I'm like, he's like, how fast do you want to get to this level in terms of daily ad spend? I'm like, please, I want you to spend $1 million a day, because I know that at $1 million a day, we're going to make more than $1 million in return. It's not like I need to have $1 million in the bank and then be like, here's the million, go spend the money. I'm like, no. I'm willing to take on the risk because I understand how the game works. Because in my mind, let's just use the $10,000 example. I'll give you some real numbers, okay? $10,000 in ad spend. Let's say you're helping general population with some type of health and wellness condition. Could be weight loss, energy, whatever. You're going to look at $5 leads, okay? On average. So $10,000 divided by $5 is 2,000 leads. 2,000 leads who opt into your pipeline and watch your webinar, either part of it or full of it. Let's just say that 3% of those people book to speak with you, okay? And 3% is on the lower end. So let's just say 2,000 people times 3%, that's 60 phone calls generated. But let's just even be more conservative. Let's say that only 20 people booked a call. You have 20 phone calls, 20 phone calls with potential clients. Let's say you charge $3,000. Do you think, now assuming all 20 people showed up on the call and assuming that most of them are qualified, do you think you could enroll 3 out of the 20? That's 1 out of 7. That is, what's that conversion rate? 1 divided by 7, that's a 14% conversion rate, which is still on the very low side. But let's just be super conservative. Do you think you could enroll 3 out of 20 people? It's essentially 1 out of 7. Because if you do, that's 3 out of 3,000. Okay, 3,000 times 3 people is 9,000 on a $10,000 ad spend. Well, you're saying, okay, Yuri, well, that doesn't make sense. I'm still negative. Okay, cool. Let's just change the price to 4,000. Now you're positive. Or let's just change the conversion rate so that it's not 1 out of 7, but it's 1 out of 5. So now you have 4 people at $3,000 each, or 4 people at $4,000 each, $12,000 or $16,000 in revenue, minus your ad spend, you're profitable. Plus, you've developed a list of several thousand people, many of whom will work with you in the future. This is the mindset you have to adopt, okay? This is the thing that's going to kill your dreams. is playing it safe, waiting for the tax refund to come into your bank account, then moving forward. The universe rewards speed, and the longer you wait, the easier it is to sit in complacency. You have to strike while the iron's hot. If you're thinking of doing something now, I promise you, the energy behind that is going to go down over time. What successful entrepreneurs do is they commit first and figure the rest out later. And that, again, like, I'm not here to give you financial advice. You might say, hey, that's super irresponsible. And I can only share what's worked for me, a lot of my super successful friends in business, and thousands of my clients. Most of our clients don't come to us with a briefcase full of cash. Most of them start to work with us because they have to. Because if they don't, they're screwed. So anyways, I hope this message finds you well. I hope it wakes something up inside of you. Because the other and final thing I'll mention on this is that the longer you wait, the more selfish you're acting. Because you have the keys that can unlock someone else's issue that they've been dealing with for way too long. So two things are going to happen. Number one is that person or that group of people are going to continue suffering. And that's not cool. Number two is that group of people will be like, I'm not waiting around anymore. I'm going to go find someone else. And they'll most likely be working with one of our clients because our clients put themselves out there. So hopefully something in this message has opened up a new portal in your mind to take a step before the bridge is fully built. How do you drive in fog? You take 10 feet in front of you, you drive, and 10 more feet open up in front of you. You don't sit in the car and wait for the fog to disappear. You don't sit at home and wait for the money to fall into your bank account and then you make an investment. You have to invest in the very skills you are currently lacking to get the results you want, which are not coming into your life because you're lacking the skills necessary to achieve those results. Do you understand that? I hope you do. So if you think I'm full of shit, let me know in the comments below. But let me tell you this, I'm not full of shit. Because if you're not getting the results you want, well, you have to look in the mirror and you have to consider that your decision-making process might be a little bit outdated. And I'm not saying that I have all the answers to everything, but I promise you this, is that everything you want in your life and in your business starts up here. And if you have limiting beliefs up here or other people have chirped in your ear about how to do things or not do things, that will hold you back in life. And you have to look at yourself and say, hey, is my current situation serving me? Or am I making decisions based on an old paradigm that's no longer serving me? And again, when the challenging piece in business is you need to take the most risk when you're first starting off. Because it's easier when you're making tens of millions of dollars and you have profit, you can do whatever you want with, right? But it's when you don't have the money, it's when you don't have those resources, that's when you need to make the investments more than ever before. Because if you ever want to get to this level, you got to invest. It's like if you're going to go climbing a mountain, you have to invest in the equipment. You got to get the crampons, you got to get the snowsuit. You can't do that stuff after you climb the mountain. You have to use that stuff to get to the top of the mountain. It's the same thing here. You don't get the skills after you get to the top. You need the skills to get to the top. And you need to develop the skills to get to the top. Make sense? So anyways, that's my little rant for today. I wanted to get it off my chest because I see this holds so many people back. If you're one of them, do something about it. Let me know below if I'm full of shit or if you're on my side. And if you are, subscribe to the channel. And I've got tons of other stuff to help you get out of your own way and build a great health business online.